Greetings all, Shane Bruce, Restomod Daisy. You know, today, instead of showing you a gun that just showed up or showing you a gun that's about to leave, thought we'd do a video about in-process stuff. You know, because anybody who sent me a gun will tell you it takes a while for that gun to get back home. That's because I kind of don't have a very focused approach to things. What we're looking at here is some Restomod Development. This is a project piece that I'm working on because I've wanted to build a parlor gun for a long, long time. And a parlor gun is a type of air gun that was very popular in the 1890s, 1900s. Designed specifically for people to go into their parlors and shoot at paper targets with very low power air guns. Here at Restomod, we've focused primarily on high power, taking a low power gun, a Red Ryder, and jacking it up to at least its advertised level of speed, if not a little better. That's been the focus of most of our efforts. So this parlor gun project represents a transition from that to, let's go to the other extreme. Let's see just how slow we can get a gun to go, but still hit and be easy and pleasant to cycle. Now, the one thing you're going to run into, or first thing I ran into in working with parlor guns, is I incorporated a sliding spring block into the design. So it does not have, and you'll notice this particular Model 99 does not have a spring anchor because it's got an SSB in it. And I wanted to use an SSB as well as one of the Daisy 25 round force feed magazines so that you did not have to invert the gun to cycle it. You didn't have to shove it up and point the muzzle in the air, take it off your shoulder, cycle the gun, put it back on your shoulder, shoot. I wanted to be able to keep everything on the shoulder and moving smoothly with not a whole lot of velocity, but a whole lot of smoothness. So, amongst the other mods we've done to this gun, it has a zero slop lever installed on it. And what does that mean? Well, look here at the cutaway and I'll show you. On the standard lever, up here at the bit that engages the plunger assembly, you'll notice that there's space there. Not a whole lot of space, but space. Maybe half an inch of space. But when you transition that space all the way down to the end of this lever, you don't make contact with the back of that plunger plate until the lever has left the stock. And it's gone about 2 inches. So the first 2 inches of throw on this lever are getting nothing done with the plunger. Now, fully extended, plunger all the way, and plunger assembly engaged with the trigger sear, you're now a grand total of about 9.5, 10 inches away from its resting position. And with this length stock, it's not bad, but you're really extended. I'm 6 feet tall, and getting that leverage out all that way is damned uncomfortable. So what we've done is we've modified the the lever assemblies. This is a stock big bolt lever, but this little bit here on this lever that's sitting in this gun has a lever where this knob is up about half an inch more. It takes up all that slack. So the result of that is you pick up contact with your plunger right away, you slide it forward, and you'll notice that your rest position is about the same, about 9.5 inches, but it's a smooth, simple cocking style. Let me go ahead and get this discharged, and can be repeated, and as I'll demonstrate. So simple, so easy. Now the key to success in this is the fact that this gun's got a 499 mainspring in it. Oh, I missed. A 499 mainspring is very light in comparison to a Red Ryder spring or the Cobalt spring. As you can see, the count of the coil, very thin wire. I'm going to pull the trigger here, and you'll notice that the wires themselves aren't very powerful. So to get the parlor gun to run where we wanted it to run, which was, we thought, about 100 feet a second, you have a combination of an SSB, a 499 mainspring, and then a lever that engages sooner than it normally would. So that all worked out great. I mean, the gun cycles real smooth. The gun hits okay on cans, but there were some issues. Stock length, butt stock length. Before this gun is finished, it'll probably be another 1.5 inches shorter to accommodate a smoother flow and return during the cycling action. This crude angle bracket which was placed here as a shootin equivalent of keeping it centered on the top of your shoulder. I'll put it up on my shoulder and show you what I'm talking about. So the gun goes up like this. During the firing cycle, you can be heads up and you can fire the gun. But if you notice, there's no real effort involved in pushing or returning the gun to battery. Now, that's one of the components that we wanted to address, and I feel like that's fixed. We still have another problem. Because of the slow speed of the BB, the Kentucky windage you've got to throw on one of these guns to hit something at 15 feet is considerable. So the original candidate was a little Daisy number 111. Love these little carbines. But they were not really suited because my old eyes just can't pick up that front sight anymore. So I decided to go to a Model 99 platform because it had a shrouded front sight, had a peep sight. And I thought the peep sight had enough, this is a factory sight, had enough elevation adjustment to where I could spin it up all the way and then get enough oomph on the barrel to get my BB to hit where I want it to hit. Because just because it's easy to shoot and simple to shoot, if it won't hit, it's not much point in shooting. Well, I had to go to a Restomod cheap peep because I lengthened the amount of shaft here to get a little more height, to get a little more offset. And this works well with a 499 mainspring, an SSB, and about a 5/8 spacer that we can put on these to pre-compress the spring. So that gets us into a speed range of about 135 to 145 feet a second, which for 15-foot shooting is working out really well. You can see the BB in arc. The gun's simple and easy to cycle, 50 rounds, very refined, very gentlemanly-like. I mean, if I had a parlor, I'd go there to shoot this. I'm sure you would as well. So that's where we're at. We've done some other work as well, of course, because I get sidetracked. I decided that since I had a parlor gun, I might as well have an adapter to shoot airsoft 6mm BBs as a muzzleloader out of my parlor gun. And that's what you're staring at right there. Now, the airsoft BBs run a bit faster than the steel BBs, but they are considerably larger. They're 6mm. For example, that's an airsoft BB would fit this. This is the BB that the gun normally shoots. So they run a little faster, but they weigh a whole lot less. They do bounce around a bit, so I'm thinking about trying to do some ricochet target work with airsoft, where you actually try to bounce the BB off object A to make it hit object B. That sounds like a great parlor game to me. Yeah. So we're in development. It ain't done yet, but it's getting really close to being done. And of course, once it gets in final form and I'm done fiddling with bits and pieces, on this lever I wanted to show you, this is strictly a prototype. But instead of a traditional loop lever, what I've done here is I put a block of wood on the outside. And the rationale for that is that it's from this position to cycle the gun, you just push down and pull back. It's real short, real simple, real easy to do. And because you're not dealing with a really honking spring, it's simple to do and it won't torque the gun or torque you all that bad. But to do that, you have to go to a aluminum billet lever, and we're still playing with what exactly this will look like on this side. Probably I'm going to fatten that up a bit at the top and scallop the bottom. I do like the finger grips, and after we get it finished with the matching stock, it should look pretty sharp. Well, that's it. This is the Parlor Plinker, a new product coming from Restomod for reduced power use, not increased power use. That's all we've got today for you, kids. This is Shane Bruce with Restomod Daisy, signing off.